Go. And 3, 2, and 1. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Back and Forth. I'm your co-host, Kevin, and this is
Chanel. Hello, everybody.
That didn't come in right. All right. So here we are again, everybody. Another great week of some great topics, some great questions that we received from people out there, other co-parents and parents out there. But I got something for you. One of those things is, what would you do if your child, your teenage child, told you that I don't want to come to your house no more? Let's go. All right, everybody. Welcome to another week of the Back and Forth. As I just said, I'm your co-host, Kevin. This is Chanel over here.
Hey.
And man, do we have another great week of topics or questions, scenarios for you.
Yes.
But before we get started, what I want you to do is make sure you hit that like, subscribe, and notification thing. Make sure you bang on those things. Bing, 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 hit those things. And so you stay in tune with what we are doing, so you can stay getting this fresh communication, this fresh information that we're putting out there for you parents. And before we get started, I would be remiss if I didn't ask my co-host, Chanel, how's she doing and how was her week?
I'm doing well, Kev. I'm doing well. It was a great week. Wonderful week. Wonderful week. How was your week?
You know, that is a great question. I am so happy that you asked me, because usually we start off the show with you just jumping in, and I was surprised. You caught me off guard. And so I was pleasantly surprised you asked me that question. But hey, Chanel, I am doing great. I'm blessed and I'm thankful to be here again, sharing information with you all out there in the co-parenting, the parenting, the grandparenting, the blended parenting, the, what do you call it?
Bonus parenting.
Bonus parenting.
Village parenting.
You said village parenting?
Village parenting. You know, them aunties, uncles, you know, they got to get y'all parents in line sometimes, because y'all be messing up.
Yeah, village parenting. For all you out there, we are coming this fresh information that we have out there, and we want to share with you because somebody's going through something right now, and we want to hope. Our hope is that what we put out there will help you get through it. And so, with that being said, Chanel, what do you have for us first this week? Because I know you got some good stuff that's come through.
Always. It never stops.
I'm not assuming, but I know you got some good stuff.
Yes, it never stops. And I'm okay with that, but it just don't stop. I mean, it don't stop. But yeah, so this week, you know, with graduations happening and happened, you know, these last couple of weeks, you know, co-parents and parents can get in their feelings, and, you know, families involved. And so folks got to show up and show out, you know, at the graduation, and forget that the kids are involved and kids are creating their memories at their graduation. And so this question came in from one of my mentees that I mentored several years ago regarding co-parenting. And her son graduated from middle school, and the ex did not want to take pictures together for his graduation. I thought that was kind of sad, Kevin. Seriously, I did. I kind of felt bad for the fella, because, you know, this is his memory. This is his 8th grade graduation or his middle school graduation going into high school. And, you know, the parents are still living in Pettyville right now.
Wow.
So I feel my heart goes out to him, because there was no rhyme or reason for why this was even okay. My personal feeling is there's no rhyme or reason for why this is okay. It's a picture. It takes place in like 0.5 seconds. Why we can't do it?
You mind if I jump in?
Yeah, go ahead. I want to hear what you got to say, because
you know, this is another prime example when parents get into their feelings and they forget about the children. Mm-hmm. You know, how dare somebody take somebody's special day away because of some issues that they have? Mm-hmm. You know, it doesn't look good for us as parents to be bringing our issues into the child's environment.
Yeah.
A graduation is a great day for the child to be able to go out there and show the accomplishments that they have done, be with their friends, show their family off. Their family can be showing off their son, their daughter, and to bring that into the issue when we all want to take a picture and be as one, as a family for this one picture. I don't care if you smile for a couple of seconds.
Yes.
That's better than not having to explain something years later. Where was your mom at? Where's your dad or your stepmom, your stepdad? There's your dad, there's your mom, there's your husband. Aren't you missing somebody? So now either the child has a lie, say, well, they were holding the camera. Because something had to give. And that's not the place we need to be at, because we have to swallow our pride.
Yeah.
This right here, this hurts because, for me, for example, when our last daughter graduated from high school, her parent, her father and brothers and sisters on his side, they came all the way from Georgia out here for her graduation. And, it doesn't matter if I was having issues with her dad in the past, which we didn't at that point. We don't anyway. And so I could imagine if I would have been holding grudges and I don't want to even be in the camera with them. Yeah. To her, that's ruining her day.
Yeah.
It's not about me. I mean,
right.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. I was a little speechless in the beginning, and I'm still kind of, it just hurt, it hurts. And I haven't had to go through this personally, but I can just only imagine how that child must feel to know that, this man he says that he wants this relationship with me. He says that, he wants all of these things for me, but at the same time, he can't sacrifice 5 seconds to take a picture so that I can have this memory. And it bothers me. It bothers me because I work with this family actually. And, it bothers me that we're still at this petty place. We're still at this place where we cannot put our feelings or, our grudges or whatever have you aside to just take the picture. Nobody's asking you to stand by the mom. Yeah. You're not hugging her. You're not doing any of that. Y'all are just standing together to take the family photo.
And you know what? Because this right here is a precursor to things that could happen in the future. Mm-hmm. College graduations, marriages. Your kid's going to get married one day. Your children are going to have children one day. And so imagine now having to share that space and that time with the other parent that you couldn't even take a picture with at high school graduation. This is the things we do. We are establishing relationships that will go forward in the future. The things we do today matter because what we think might be something like might be 5 seconds and it won't matter. It won't matter in the future. They do. Because believe it or not, our children remember these things.
Yeah.
So you imagine now the kind of relationship you are establishing with that child because of your pettiness. You don't want to take a picture. So this child remembers that. And so what happens the next time? What if they go to college and say, well, you don't want to take pictures last time, so I really didn't invite you.
Right. And I can actually see that happening because now, we're talking about now I've got to, and the mom has to work diligently with talking about forgiveness, talking about, a second chance. It goes so much further than the little 5 seconds we asked you for. Yeah. It goes further into, okay, now he's like, I'm not going to set myself up for disappointment again. Are you kidding me? So what do we do with that? What do we say to this child that has been disappointed once again on a major event in his life? And now he's going into high school and now he's going to go off to college, or he's trying to figure out, what he's going to do after high school. How much is he going to include his dad with that decision? Yes. You know what I'm saying? And now is it going to be, who's going to be at fault here?
As the parent, we bear the brunt of most of the responsibility here because, a child is a child. A child still stay in a child's place. But as a parent, we are there to basically build those bridges. We are there to nurture and bring up our children in the right way so they can be productive citizens out there. And if they are watching us and the things that we do, imagine them emulating that and going out doing the same thing if this happens to them. Well, my mom and my dad didn't do it for me, so I'm not going to do it for my child.
Right.
All because of one action, it could be a domino effect. And so we have to be careful. We have to be careful what we say and what we do, because it could come back to bite us in the butt later on.
Absolutely. 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 And, like you said, you hit the nail on the head about emulating behavior because they don't know any better. They didn't see a model of someone being mature. They didn't see a model of a relationship that, even though they could put their, realizing they could put their differences aside for the sake of a greater good.
Yes.
And that's just that's just a lesson in and of itself. We can't go to work and decide that, oh, my boss made me mad, so I'm going to do a poor job because I'm still mad at her or I'm still mad at him. You've got to put those differences aside for the greater good of either the company, your work ethic, your reputation, all of those things. And so these are some character values that we're instilling by the actions that we take and make and decisions we make when it comes to parenting.
Yeah. And, communication is very important. And I'm always going to stress that, because if you can't find a way to communicate, find a way to interact with one another, you're not doing your children any justice. And yes, I know you may have relationships out there where it ended bad. It may have been an abusive relationship or anything. So no, I'm not saying that it's the end all and be all, but we have to find a way to communicate for the sake of our children. And so I've got something for you. I want you to check out this right here.
What is it, Kev?
Your situation. I want you to just absorb this. Check out this, what we received from somebody. Oof. It said, I've noticed that my having communications with my ex's parents always seem to create problems between he and I. So I stopped. I don't know exactly what was happening. All I know was after every time his mom and I had a conversation, he and I would always seem to have some kind of conflict. His mom continues to try and reach out. She wants to reconnect, but that connection is too costly at the moment. So I have made the decision to keep it very distant for the time being. I do not even want to let her know why, because it will only stir up another situation. Just not worth it. What do you think about that one, Chanel?
Ooh. Listen, I don't know if I'm the right one to be talking about mama boy drama or not. But I will say this. This is one of the things I learned very, very early in my relationship or just in life. In my 20s, I got married. I was 20 years old. I got married to my son's father. And, I was a daddy's girl, but at the same time, my dad, taught us boundaries, understood boundaries, things like that. And I kind of was like, my dad did this, my dad did that. I was kind of that girl. And I think that had a lot to do with why his mom was always in our business as well. So long story short, I had to learn that, this is how I felt when she was in our business. I cannot be that mom because I don't want my children or my son or my daughter-in-law to feel that type of pressure. There's already enough pressure in a marriage anyway, but to add additional pressure because of what my expectations are, it's not relevant. It's not relevant to that relationship. And so for the mom, the dad's mom, I guess, or the dad in the parenting situation, his mom to really interfere to the point where she about to get cut out of all the information because she don't know her place. She doesn't know her boundaries when it comes to, the communication part of it. If you're communicating with this young woman about the children, let that be between you two. Why are we stirring up stuff? Because it's only going to make matters worse between the two parents.
All right.
What do you think?
So I'm going to do my thing again. All right. So you heard what I read. And see, that's why I say this is a great show, because this is about perspectives.
Yeah.
Now, what happened was this right here. The relationship between the person I know and the mother, the grandmother, has nothing to do with the relationship between the two exes. The grandmother just wants to be in contact so she can have contact with her grandchildren.
Mm-hmm.
It has nothing to do with those two. And
right.
So I know this personally as a grandparent. Whatever's going on between those two kids, our children and the other parent, it's got nothing to do with us. We just want a relationship with our grandchild.
Right.
And this lady here wants a relationship with her grandchildren. Not her per se, but she knows in order to have a relationship with a grandchild, she still has to go through the mother.
Right.
The problem is that whenever she talks to the mother, the ex-husband, ex-spouse, whatever, finds out about it, and he starts feeling some kind of way because he doesn't want his mom to talk to her at all, period.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? So that's why I say you can see this through two different lenses.
Yeah.
You can see it as a mother-in-law, ex-mother-in-law being in the business and being nosy or something like that and stirring up trouble. Or you can see from the other standpoint where the ex doesn't want you having any communication with his mother at all. The thing we have to remember is this right here. The grandparents are people too. Mm-hmm. And we didn't ask you to go out and have the relations and make it the children. You make it the children. We as the grandparents want to have a relationship with our grandchildren.
Right.
You all work your own issues out. I just want to see my grandchild. And right. At the minimum, you should not deprive the grandparents because we're the ones who spoil the kids. We don't.
Right.
We just want to see our grandkids. We ain't ask for anything. You two work out your issues over there on the side, but let us take our grandkids out, get them all sugared up and energized up and give them back to you for the weekend after the weekend's up. That's all we ask. So now you see what I said. You can see this through two different lenses. So now you see what I'm talking about. So what do you think about that?
Well, see, here's the other part then. Now the mom has to go back into parenting her son again. Because, again, like you said, her wanting to know about her grandchildren has nothing to do with why y'all not kicking it.
Yeah.
So you're, again, going to need to put your grown-up drawers on and understand that this isn't about y'all's issue. You got to understand that, and whatever y'all's issues are, if you are still holding this against everybody, that everybody should not be talking to her because you're mad at her, that's so immature. What are we in 5th grade?
Wait. You're not going to wait.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
You don't gave me a topic, the title for the show.
First of all, you're not going to speed past that like you didn't just say what you just said.
You don't gave me the title for the show. You said you got to put your what on again?
I was trying to be civil, Kev. I did. I tried, but it was just taking me there. And I was like, oh my God, here we go. I knew what you were thinking. I already knew what you were thinking, but still, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
She has to, here's the thing. At the end of the day, now he is going to spoil this relationship that she wants to have with her grandchildren because he's making it hard for the baby mama to have communication with the family. These children have family.
Yes.
This is a whole set of a whole side of the family that they may not get to have a relationship with because he want to be stupid.
All because of their relationship.
Right.
Yeah.
And so what makes people think that I have to have a grudge against you because y'all had some, you didn't do nothing to me.
No. Nothing at all. So
why I gotta be mad at you?
So could you imagine having having parents who don't even live in the same city as you, who live somewhere totally different, geographically separated, and they have nothing to do with this, whatever. You know, you can have parents out in California, and while you on the East Coast, they just want to see their grandchildren. And because of your issues with your ex, you are depriving them, which means, here we go again. That's why I always say it's not about us as parents. It's about our children. We will have another generation of children, if this keeps up, have another generation of children who will not know a certain side of their family because of issues and feelings that in this situation, one parent has.
Right.
And that's not doing the children any favors, you know.
And how sad is that? How sad is that? Like, we talked last week about a scenario where you know, the dad didn't want to provide what the mom needed, you know, for him to have his visitation. And, you know, the grandparent now, she is suffering the consequence of this. You know, she sent the message saying, I told him to give you what you need so I can see, you know, what do we need to do to see my grandkids? Because you want to hold on to some grudge, some pride, something. Now you're not only going to see your children, but now your mom is not going to see her grandkids, and your kids are going to miss out on spending time with their cousins, their aunts, their uncles, all of that.
Yeah.
Because you haven't evidently been taught to manage your emotions to the point where you can make decisions for the greater good.
Yeah, man. And you know, we also we need to have a level of empathy and understand where somebody's coming from. You know, this young lady here has basically just said that for the sake of the situation, she's cut off the communication with the ex-mother-in-law. That's a sad thing. You know, so the mother-in-law may be feeling like, what did I do? So now you're not answering my calls or my texts. Did I do something wrong? And so now you may have another situation come up where the mother-in-law may start feeling some kind of way about the person. And so, and then now the son can be like, see, I told you. But no, it was crazy. Him. Yeah, and so it was him all along. He's the one that's causing the issue. And so, you know, we just have to take a step back, parents, you know, and do this thing for the greater good. And it's not about us because, you know, you as a parent right now, one day are going to grow up and you are going to be a grandparent. And how would you feel if the same situation were to occur to you, where your child had a child for someone else and they're not together anymore, and now you can't see your grandchild? So put those shoes on and try to walk around in. Now I feel like you walk around in 2 left feet because your feet don't go all over the place. And you're walking in circles, and your feet just don't feel right. They jacked up. They hurting, and that's how the situation is. It's a jacked up situation, and it's hurtful. And you know, so when we shouldn't be causing we call it we're not talking about when you get hit by shrapnel. You know, you had nothing to do with the situation.
Collateral damage. You got the big word for the day. Ding, ding, ding. So taking on collateral damage, the grandparents are taking on getting hit with collateral damage, and they have nothing to do with the situation. We have to. And again, I'm going to say it again. Parents, we got to do better. We got to do better because if not, they're going to call us can't get right. And then, you know, called can't get right. We seen the movie, you know, you want to be called can't get right. But make sure you handle your business. Communicate. If you don't want your mother or somebody to talk to your ex, tell her and see what your parents say at that point. They probably say, you got nothing to do with this. Mind your business. Right.
And you keep it moving. So yeah, I mean, sheesh. This right here, I mean, this is a unless you want to touch on something like this again, I suggest Chanel that we take this to the situation where that hot topic we were talking about at the top of the show, because this plays right into that.
Yes, absolutely. Like building relationships to make sure that the children they see both sides of the family and they have a relationship with both sides of the family is so important because, you know, there's things that we can learn from both sides of the family. There's obviously DNA running through our blood from both sides of the family. So we need to get to know where we come from so we can know, okay, what are some things that are underlining that I need to work on, or things that I'm great at or have strengths at? Or you may just have some really great connections in your family that you could be missing out on. And so that kind of leads into this scenario, this hot topic.
Don't go. Go ahead. Don't go, because I want you to sit on something for a minute.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you a question that's going to be personal. We're transparent here. We all family.
Yes.
How would you feel? Because you're right now, your son's still young, but as he became a teenager, and he started going through, he's staying with his dad, and you got visitation, and that situation is working out for the best. Everything's working out well. You're in communication with your son, and everything's going fine. And then one day, he starts feeling some kind of way, and he says, "I don't want to go to mom's anymore." How would that make you feel?
I would be heartbroken.
Oh.
I would be heartbroken because, I would want to know why. Of course I would want to know why. Like what happened? What did I do? What's going on? Because okay, we've had great communication between the two of us all these years of your life, and then now you're just saying you don't want to spend time with me. What does that mean? What does that look like? Why?
Well, I'm glad you asked that question. Let me fill you in on the scenario. It says, got this from one of our viewers. It says, we have a 15-year-old and he does not like going to his mother's house every other weekend. One, because he's heavy into sports and has games and other events on the weekends. Two, because his mother and stepdad have two younger children and he usually has to babysit when he's there. And three, he says that he only goes now because he doesn't want to hurt her feelings.
Oh, wow.
So, Chanel, what say you about this one? Because you have a younger son.
Yes.
And one day he may be this old and he may get to a point where he says this. The reason I preface this question, I ask you that. How would that make you feel?
There's this course that I went through, and it's called Breakthrough the Joy. And that's a course to talk about, healing from the wounds of our childhood, healing from the wounds of our past, and trying to identify what the stronghold was, and, and forgiving the people that contributed to that, and then moving on. Mm-hmm. One of the things about that course was talking about more than a child. Mm-hmm. You have these adult responsibilities as a child, right? We have these parents that tell their kids adult stuff. They act like their kid is their therapist, right? They act that their kid is the kid is their spouse. They just vent to them, and these children are carrying on these burdens that they should be carrying. Mm-hmm. And I feel like now that we have more clarity on the situation with this 15-year-old, that he just wants to be 15.
Yes.
He wants to be 15, and perhaps over time, he's been holding this stuff in, that he has all these adult responsibilities, and well, maybe I shouldn't go over there. Mm-hmm. Maybe I shouldn't go over there because I feel like I'm not who I'm supposed to be right now.
Yes.
And so instead of the parents communicating about it and they coming up with a better resolution, it's almost like he had to make the decision, well, I just don't want to go there anymore.
Yeah. And that's a good one. That's a good one, because some parents may hold the other parent to the court order. And this is why it's very important that we as parents communicate, because guess what? If you got divorced or you had a court order in place when the children were younger, when they were smaller, they were 7, 8, 9 years old. Mm-hmm. When they become teenagers, things change. Mm-hmm. The children get involved in different activities. And for you as a parent to hold that child to a court order because it's your weekend while that child has a life and they're trying to live their life, we want what's best for our children, not what's best for us.
Yeah.
Now, I could see if it was to a point where there was parent alienation going on and they were not letting you see the child. But if the child is getting to a point where they are involved in things and it's happening on your weekend, then we're going to use Chanel's thing. You may have to put up your big drawers and understand the situation for what it is. It's not about you. No one's trying to hurt your feelings. Your child has a life.
Right.
We have to learn to adapt and grow with that also as parents.
Absolutely.
And if you need to go back to court, then maybe you need to go back to court to adjust it, but you're adjusting it for the temporary, because if your child is 15, 16 years old, they're at the age where they can make a decision.
Right.
Then you really might get your feelings hurt. Yeah.
Absolutely. You do have those modification years, you do have those modification years. And I believe that the courts put that in place for those parents that can't, have used common sense. They can't buy it on Amazon. I think they have common sense on Amazon for $19.99, maybe cheaper, but parents don't seem to want to buy that. And so they have these modifications in place so that, like you said, as the children mature and things change, then the order needs to change right along with it. And like you said, the child at that point can make a decision of who they want as their primary, where they want as their primary residence.
Yes.
The other concern that I have is does the mom know that the son has all these events, and why is she not supportive of that? Is she supportive of that? What is the deal with that?
Well, the thing about it is the parents know, they all know they're in communication. However, the person just can't accept the fact that the child doesn't want to come over there no more. Mm-hmm. And so,
she's taking it personal.
So there we go. We're getting our feelings.
Yeah.
We're getting our feelings, and we forget about the facts. The facts are the child is involved in events. Mm-hmm. Sorry, it happens on your weekend. Maybe we need to find a way to adjust to be able to remedy that. Maybe you could bring the child to the event if need be, and you still get to spend time with them. Mm-hmm. But again, the child is getting older and things change, so we have to learn how to change too. We can't go back to saying, well, my parents raised me this way, this is how we're going to do it. Mm-hmm. It doesn't work. Different personalities, different characteristics. Children are different. They have different likes, they have different needs, they have different wants. And we have to be open to receiving that, to understand exactly where our children are coming from. Because what you don't want somebody to do something, do it out of spite. Like you see there where he said that he's only doing so he won't hurt his mother's feelings.
So she's already shared her feelings with him.
Yeah. And so that's a dangerous place to be as a parent, where you have a child who's not willing to open up and talk to you. Yeah. Because that's how things happen. And we can say, I never even knew it was happening. I never even saw it, because it just seemed like he seemed like everything was okay. But then all of a sudden the child blows up and gets upset about something because they don't want to be there. And now everybody's feelings hurt. Yeah. So
I will be honest with you, Kevin. There's times where, I've asked questions, asked my son questions. Mm-hmm. And my goal is always to allow him to speak his truth, to tell the truth, no matter what it is. I do believe that children, have some form of empathy. They feel like if I say this, it's gonna hurt my mom, or if I say this, it's gonna hurt my dad. And I try to help him understand, okay, you can say certain things with some tact, but at the end of the day, don't lie for people. Mm-hmm. Don't lie to spare someone's feelings, and then you're hurting inside. Mm-hmm. You can say things with tact. So we're working on that. I'm teaching him those things. And so there's times when he has said things because he was being honest, and it was something I didn't want to hear.
Okay.
And as the adult, that I had to take my feelings somewhere else. You know what I mean? Like, I had to take that and process it outside of him. You see what I'm saying? Because then that kind of breeds some contempt. Like, my mom is teaching me to be honest and open with her, and she can't even handle it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yes, sometimes they say things because they are growing and changing. He's not my baby anymore. Yes. In my mind, he's still my baby, but in his mind, I'm not your baby.
Yeah. And that's very important that you say that, because it's what I always tell people to take a step back from a situation. Mm-hmm. And I'm not just talking about taking a step back from a conversation that you and the co-parent may be having, and maybe turning maybe conflict involved. You also need to take a step back from these conversations, these situations with our children.
Yeah.
Because those things will run you ragged. Because, I mean, we're dealing with emotions.
Yes.
You know, and if you're dealing with teenagers, you don't know up from down, left from right.
Yes.
And you have to be able to take a step back from that situation, say, okay, my child might be in their feelings, or there may be something valid that's going on that I need to get an understanding for. And I'm not going to pressure the child, say, well, if you don't tell me, I'm not going to know. Yeah, you say that, then the child say, okay, well, I won't tell you then. And then what you don't want is a child say, I don't tell you things because of the way you react.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah. So
absolutely. And the things that they do need to tell us, because we've had a pattern of, you know, reacting a certain way before, kind of like what we were talking about earlier, you know, it was disappointing to them. It was just like, okay, this is supposed to be my parent. I feel like, yeah, my friends do that, but my parent is still doing that. You know, like, what? Okay, let me just. And so you see these children holding on to stuff. There's children that come into my office and tell me so much stuff, Kev, that, and because they know that their session is confidential, only unless obviously if they are, you know, threatening to harm themselves or someone else, it is confidential. And they tell me so much stuff that they feel like they can't tell their parents because their parents have behaved poorly when they have shared things with them. So I'm grateful that they are getting an opportunity to get things out and process them. But at the same time, it saddens me to know that, you know, these parents are processing their feelings with their kids. And it's sad. It saddens me to know that parents don't realize the impact and the burden that they place on their kids when they do that.
And let's play the contrarian here.
Mm-hmm.
But the parents who do know that they're causing this pain, and they want that child to feel their pain too, because they have nobody else to vent to. And so they choose their children to vent to get it off their shoulders. And now you just put it onto a child. And now a child is in a place where they shouldn't be in the first place, shouldn't be in grown people's business. Yeah. And so we are ruining our children's childhood. Yeah. And let our children be children. They're going to grow up and they may resent you for the things that you are doing today. And from this situation right here, this child is starting to resent the mother. I don't want to go over there because I don't want to babysit. I don't want to go over there because I don't want to hurt my mom's feelings. I don't want to go over there because I got sporting events. So evidently the child is saying, I need my childhood. I want to be a child. I want to get this childhood once. And you know, you as a parent, I'm going to be your child forever. But you need to understand that I've got these years, and then sooner or later, the child's going to be off to college. Yes. And now you're going to miss that part too, because the child might not want to share those experiences with you. So yeah.
We just got to be more. We got to be mindful of their shoes. What shoes that they're in right now, and remember when we were in those shoes. You know, it may have been a long time ago, or maybe in a short period of time ago, but we got to remember that they deserve the same. We all deserve to have that childhood experience, and don't take that away from them because you and their father, you and their mother couldn't work it out.
Good words. Good words. So Chanel,
what's up?
I think we have hit some nice hot topics today.
Yes.
I don't want to miss out on this hot topic because you've got something going on. I know you do. So what do you have going on that the viewers may want to know about? Where can they find you? What do they need to know that you got going on so they can keep up with you?
Yes, definitely. Always got stuff going on. Always do. We're working on our mentorship program where people actually get a mentorship box where they get some materials to really kind of help them on their journey, and then they have access to just have a question answered, or have a sounding board to kind of bounce stuff off of, or have a brainstorming session with me twice a month, along again with their mentorship box. And I have some really good goodies in that mentorship box. So that's really hot right now this summer. And I'm super, super duper excited about it. And of course, the show, people signing up and subscribing to the show, people writing in, letting us know how they love the show. And then also, bringing some concerns and, issues to the table so that we have some hot topics to present to you guys. So I'm super duper excited about that. What you got going on, Kev?
Well, I'm glad you asked because usually sometimes you forget about me and I have to bring it up myself. So I appreciate you asking me what do I have going on. And so since you asked, well, my book, the 32K format, I've been getting good reviews from it. But one thing that stood out was someone asked me, said, why don't you turn this book into like an online course? So I'm in the process of turning this book into an online course. And I'm about to start shooting videos for these modules, for each one of the modules in the book, and shooting videos for them so the viewers can also have those. So one day when I finish those, there'll be a course out there on my website people will be able to go to sign up for, so they'll be able to take the course, go through the 32K format course to become better, so the co-parents become better parents and better people, so you can help out with your communication skills and everything else that goes along with that. So I'm in the process of working on that. I know it's going to be another huge labor of love, but I do what I do for those co-parents out there who wish that there was somebody out there who could speak their language and understood what they were going through. So that's what I got going on besides shooting this content for this YouTube channel with Chanel, who's killing it here. I am out here every day. Just catch me on IG out there, watch my videos, share that content. Let me know you're out there. Give me comments. This keeps me going. If you ever have a situation where you want one of your questions or one of your scenarios brought on, drop it in the comments below, or you can shoot us a DM. You can DM us, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification button so you'll know when we put the next show out there. So I don't want to make the same mistake I made last week because we've been doing something that became a habit, and Chanel didn't do it. And so she didn't remind me. So I'm going to do it this week. I'm going to start it off. So we about to take off. But I want y'all to do is stay safe and be blessed. And Chanel, what's that thing you say?
God first, safety second.
There we go. And that's all we got for this week. See y'all next time.
Good night.
I'm going to get that air horn. There we go. All right, y'all. Woo.